Welcome to another episode of the State of the Bulldogs. Sam, Mike, Jeb, and Grant, and tonight joined by none other than SoCon John, uh, pretty much the go-to guy for anything SoCon football, basketball related. John, how we doing, man?
Pretty good. I'm looking forward to talking some basketball with you guys. I watch the show a lot when I can. You guys do
All
a great
right,
job. So,
thank you.
I
Appreciate
always enjoy the fact that you guys cover like every sport instead of just, the football and basketball or whatever.
We try.
We've
Try.
we've had to get
We're pumped
creative
to
over the
have you.
last 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have had to be creative.
Stanford's women's soccer team, didn't they win the SoCon?
All right. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Regular season champs.
Congratulations to them.
Yeah, back on top. Feels good.
Yeah.
The rest of the conference thought they had us for a minute with a couple seasons, but we're back. We're back.
I guess Western Carolina was the defending champion.
Yeah, unfortunately. But, no, but we're excited to have you because, I mean, seriously, in the world, and we were talking about this before, but in the world of SoCon burner accounts, it's nice to have like an official authority on SoCon sports, and that's kind of your role in the mess that is SoCon Twitter, especially.
Yeah, I try to clean it up as much as I can, but it's hard because like some of these people on their burnerverse or whatever, they have like 5 accounts.
Yes.
And you just like, which is this like me, myself, and Irene? Is this like the same person? They refer themselves.
You have a favorite?
Person? Oh,
we
man.
have our favorites. Like
I think
the Vontarius Woolbright one is good.
Yes, I love the creativity of that one.
Yeah, that's a really good account.
Teddy Buckland is
I don't know if I know that one.
That
Teddy
one's
Buckland.
a good one. He's like the Western guy that pointed out the fact that the defensive coordinator during the summer had tweeted that like this is going to be the best like Darth Vader defense, and he's like pinned the tweet like after they gave up 600 yards. So like the defensive coordinator at Western like deleted his Twitter account.
Oh my god. That's so bad.
It's pretty hilarious. I was like, man, that's awesome. But and I don't know. I just think it's funny, like that especially like the Western burners, they get under the skin of like Reddit FCS. Which
oh
is
my
funny
goodness. Reddit FCS has had it out for the SoCon this year.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh, I know. And it's like, what happened? Like, what did the SoCon do to like Reddit FCS?
Seriously, we haven't even. that cat is a fan of a Big Sky team.
Yeah,
and there's like we haven't
like a
touched.
CAA school.
Well, okay, that would make way more sense if it was a CAA school.
Yeah,
the dying dinosaur.
Well, I mean, like we're like watch them get like 3 teams in the playoffs.
Oh, they will. They will. That the historic bias in the stinking play. Everybody rips the FBS playoff committee. The FCS one is
so bad.
It's borderline corrupt, but
right.
That's neither here nor
there. I think the FBI should look at the FCS playoff committee.
I mean, the fact that you can bid is kind of crazy, no? Like for a host spot, like that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and like like with those schools that have like Montana, they've just got a lot of money because there's only like 900,000 people in the whole state.
Yeah,
I mean, and it's such a disadvantage because there's only 2 Division I schools in the whole state.
Right.
So like, whereas in Alabama, for instance, Samford's got to compete with Auburn, Alabama, and those to start with. That's not even to mention like Troy and all the other ones, UAB,
South Alabama.
Yeah, and so like by the time, but out there, I mean, they're getting the best of the best, even though it's not a lot of people. They're still getting the best of the talent in their state. So.
Yeah, there will be 8 3-stars out of the state of North Dakota. 2 of them might go to Michigan or wherever. One of them actually did commit to Michigan, which is why I say that. And then the rest are North Dakota State.
Right.
So great.
And then like North Dakota State like has been known to steal like Minnesota recruits before because that's sort of like the same demographic.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
the Gophers, man. But SoCon basketball, another season. Last year was exciting. The portal NIL has certainly turned every team on its head. It seems
Mm-hmm.
every year. Furman being the outlier and VMI the outlier this year in
Mm-hmm.
terms of returners. So basically a whole new conference. So John, I wanted to ask, just overall, who like can we split the conference into tiers coming into the preseason? Obviously, that may change, or it definitely will change as things get going. But just to give everybody an idea of kind of how everything is shaken out so far.
Well, one of the things that makes it hard for people like us is when the transfer portal is like, how do you even how do
Yeah,
you pick the league?
yeah.
And I feel like people just pick sort of Chattanooga, and Chattanooga is very good. I think they'll be very good because they had a really good portal haul, and but it's guesswork. Um, I mean, it was they were the team that won it last year. Unlike like Samford and maybe Furman the year before that, who were picked to win it the previous 2 years. Those two teams had, well, I guess Samford really didn't. That's kind of probably going to defeat my argument. But I was going to say, like, there was a lot of people, but still, I mean, Rylan Jones was back,
Hmm.
and there was a good feeling about Samford because they had the most NIL money and they got a lot of good players. The same with I don't know like how much NIL money Chattanooga had, but they brought in a lot of good talent,
See,
and so
I would think UTC has the most NIL. I mean, Sanford definitely has a lot. There's a reason we went from bottom to the top
well it
in
was
the NIL era. But how
something
did?
about Bucky. I don't know. Grant, you might be able to speak to this more, but like, wasn't there something like where Bucky had the most, and then like when he went to Texas A&M, like the money kind of went with him or something? I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
I couldn't really confirm that for sure, but he was really good at the raising part. He would raise a lot himself,
right.
obvious connections around the city, and then Sanford would kind of build off of that. So
That's
his kind of obviously connections living here, and
right.
let's see what kind of guys stayed committed to the program, kind of with his seal of approval. With like Lenny's the great that the guy Sanford needs to move forward. So we'll see what how that kind of trails off. Maybe we get some news on that front. But yeah, Bucky was really good at raising that part of capital that Sanford needed.
And what I find, and like, I think Sanford's athletic director, Martin Newton, has done an outstanding job with hiring. Like, if you look at the two hires he's made, they're both at different opposite ends of the spectrum. One guy's going to finish out his career, in Alabama, and the other one was starting out his collegiate coaching career in Alabama. And they're both like one had to prove that he was a winner. One has already proven that he is a winner, and
Right.
so like it's kind of a neat story in that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
I like that, John.
well, I mean, I was like, that is fascinating though. Like,
Yeah.
um, and I think that the commitment to basketball at Samford, I don't know what it. I always thought of Samford before they got pretty good with Bucky. I kind of thought of them as a football school because of Alabama and being in that state and football being such a big thing. But like when they got good at basketball, it was clear the commitment was to basketball, and the student body got behind it and so it'll be interesting. I think, and we'll talk about more about Samford in a minute. But I think like the top teams you were asking, I think there's three tiers probably, but then there's probably two. There's probably you could probably split it like 5 or 6 teams that could actually win in Asheville, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So even part of the second tier would be considered. It wouldn't be
A
shocking
contender.
to see one of those.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I would say, I guess the top three teams. I mean, you'd have to say. I mean, I actually went back and forth on Chattanooga because I did like their I like Teddy Washington Jr. because he's such a good defender, and I think that gives them an element really they didn't have last year. Like as good as Huff and Trey Bonham were, they weren't great defenders.
Yeah.
Um, they were quick, but they weren't great defenders. Teddy's got a little bit more size, and he's a little bit more physical. So I like that, and then but I like the continuity that Furman has. Um, you know, the one thing I think Furman's going to struggle with is I'm not sure that they'll be quite as good of a shooting team without Nick Anderson and PJ Smith, but I think the guys they brought in are just different types of players, so they'll probably have really good 2-point offense.
That's
It'll be
okay.
some.
I'll take that. I'll take that trade for sure.
Yeah, so I mean, I had a chance to watch the exhibition yesterday, and obviously we all knew Alabama was going to win that game. They're
Yeah, sure.
elite 18,
There'd be a
but
problem if not.
yeah, but I mean there were some really good things. I thought Alex Wilkins, a point guard, who played only maybe like 12 or 14 minutes or something, and he fouled out with like 12 to go. Fouled out with 12 minutes to go.
Strong work. Strong work.
But he was a +5 and had 10 points.
Yep.
And so like he was one of the two players. Like there was a notable difference when he was in the game.
How was the arena?
Oh, it's pretty nice.
It looks nice, and then with the boxes, it looks sweet.
It reminds me of a little bit. I don't know if you guys are familiar with UNC Asheville's Kimmel Arena. It's a little bit bigger, but the layout of it's the same.
Okay.
It also reminds me of a smaller version of Auburn's arena.
Okay.
If that makes any sense. Because like how the seats are in Auburn's arena are similar to how they are in Furman's arena, and like it gets pretty loud in there because of that. And it was a cool atmosphere. I liked the small things like the ribbons going around the arena were pretty cool. So I mean, it's one of the things that's my favorite is though they have like an interactive Hall of Fame, which is pretty cool. Like
that is cool.
So it's a little bit like if you guys have ever been to like Duke or Kansas, where you can like go and type a player's name in and like all their stats will come up.
One day.
It's pretty cool.
Sweet.
One day.
What does the rest of your top teams in the SoCon look like preseason?
Okay.
Power rankings wise.
I mean, I guess Chattanooga would be right there. I think they've got an interesting situation too. Like Furman, they've got a lot of talent in the front court. I think Mulholland, we all saw what he could do in the NIT last year.
Yes.
And man, he was just. I think he went 5 of 17 in that championship game. Yeah. But like
he didn't care.
Every shot he hit of those 5 were like huge shots in the game. And the other thing is like they don't win the Middle Tennessee State game without him. Yeah. I think he had like 21 in that game, and so I think he's good. He's going to have a progression probably as good as any big man in the league this year. And then if you look at the other guys, I like Latif Diouf. He's a good player. I thought he's from I think Holland, and he was sort of like that skilled big man that you always find in Europe that can he has post moves, he can pass. And it's funny because I was asking Mulholland about that at Media Day. I was like, what's it like to play in Dan Earl's offense? And he was like, well, quite honestly, I don't know if I could. It caters to my skill set because I'm not athletic enough to play like any other. So it was pretty funny. Great kid, by the way. But yeah.
I keep forgetting that UTC's coming off an NIT tournament championship.
Isn't that wild?
It's wild to say.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool. Yeah. But it is crazy that they're not getting a lot of preseason hype compared to Furman. I mean, what's the story on Western?
Well, actually, I think Chattanooga's probably picked by more people. I don't know. It's probably even. Because I know.
Yeah, I can't remember what the preseason poll was off the top. I mean, I know
both teams got 5 first place votes.
Yeah.
And then, I think Chattanooga had 77 overall points, and maybe.
No, you're right. Yep. They were preseason 1 in the coaches, 77 to 73.
So, I mean, but I have seen a lot of publications. Some I think Field of 68 had Chattanooga is there one of their top? I don't know, 15. Or he ranks all. Is it Rocco Miller that ranks all the mid majors?
Yes. Or
so,
yeah, I'm pretty
Chattanooga's
sure.
the highest in the SoCon, and Furman was 4 places behind them, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those are
So
kind of the clear, like if we're doing the tiers, the top tier, those are the two.
right, and then
That feels right.
this is where it goes. Kind of either you could say Samford, or you could say East Tennessee State, or you could say, you could even say VMI for that matter. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I don't feel like that would be a wild prediction, but I feel like Samford and East Tennessee would be the next. One of those two would be,
I mean, frankly,
Yeah, I
the
felt the same way.
unfortunate. Go
I
ahead,
felt the
Grant.
same way coming in. It'd be like Chattanooga, ETSU, Furman, whatever group in those top three, whatever order you want to put it, and then Samford for it. Sanford VMI kind of that same spot, and then the rest were kind of how I was kind of thinking before the poll came out. I didn't expect Sanford to be three. It's probably more respect to Acuff and what he's done over the past 5 years, and the two guys he brought over from Lipscomb. But I thought that those 4 to 5, kind of Sanford VMI, bringing up that bottom part of that middle tier.
Yeah, like for Samford, I've said it all along. Like you could tell that Dylan Faulkner was just different. Like he's a different player. I mean, he's really good. I think Jaden Booth, really good player.
Really good player.
In fact,
but
Lenny
John, we've been
Acuff,
burned. We've been burned by hyped up portal guys. So I'm a little hesitant to.
Yeah, we don't like hyped up portal guys.
Yeah.
one difference about these guys though is like Jaden Booth,
Production.
he was a Division II guy, and like it hits a little bit different for those guys because they got something to prove, and he's wanting to prove that he is an All-American. Like he can play at this level, just like guys last year did. I mean, if you look at Chattanooga's team or Furman, they both had all conference guys that were lower divisions before. So I think that's kind of neat. I kind of think it's neat how Lenny got guys that fit Lenny's system.
I think Alondra Kirk just hit a home run.
Oh,
Cool. That's nice.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Lenny does get. We were talking about this 2 weeks ago, where we probably talked about it on every episode since we hired Lenny, but he's got a different system. He's got a different way about how he's going to build the team. It's not going to be like Bucky, right?
right.
It'll be a little bit different.
It seems more sustainable, but we'll see.
We think.
Yeah.
Maybe less boom or bust, but less boom.
I just think that something about getting Division II players is a little bit more. That doesn't mean they'll stay, but you know what I mean? It just feels like it's more sustainable. But having said that, Samford is not. I find it interesting that Samford hired two. So normally, if you hire one offensive guy, you'll go like a defensive hire. But both of these coaches excel. Like Bucky excelled as a tactician offensively. That's what Lenny does.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to me that you go back-to-back offensive guys that are kind of hired. And I think that part of Samford's defense last year, or part of their offense was their defense, if that makes sense. The whole goal was to create turnovers and points off turnovers. And so you're really never settling into a half-court defense if you don't have to.
Yeah.
So if you can win that battle, you can win a lot of games.
It just sucks because it feels like that's the identity of Samford basketball at this point, and we know that's not going to be the case anymore.
Yeah. It's like
it's kind of hard. It's hard to watch.
Well, I think that's the psychology of it, though, right? Lenny's got to come in there and make sure that Samford doesn't not take anything away from Bucky, but keep the standard of winning while introducing his own culture.
He has to, yeah, because it's a fragile program in general. Because as you said earlier, it feels more of a football school, although we're terrible.
No, it's a different basketball school now.
Yeah, the last few years, especially with the emergence of Beck Taylor coming in on campus. His idea is more basketball. But
I think the momentum can die as quickly as it was built.
Well,
yeah,
one of the
I
things,
agree.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
one of the things you guys made a good point about is like why did the students just like not they stop kind of did they maybe got a little bit nonchalant, or they were just lackadaisical, about coming to games late last year. And there were some big games like after the ETSU game. It felt like the attendance, it was hard to get students there like they had been going.
It was odd.
I don't think students in this, maybe it's just Samford students, or maybe it's SoCon students. I don't think they understand like that your school can do something magical on the national stage in basketball, because no one's interested in football because you can't do that.
Right.
Truthfully, like your team's not going to be on ESPN unless they're playing Alabama or Texas A&M, Florida, or Auburn, right? That one game a year,
or you get throttled
as of this year.
Unless you're Citadel versus South Carolina.
Yeah, and you're not getting national attention unless Kirk Herbstreit is forgetting what the name of your school is,
or having to describe the logo that it.
So it's just like, and we talked about this with Beck, but like basketball is that gateway and that door to market the university, get students in the door at the university, but also build a large enough culture where students like are proud of where they go to school and proud of their, because that's what it's about. Like, yeah, winning's fun, but that only lasts like a season and then it's back to the drawing board.
Right.
But when you build that culture about like, yeah, my team's good at basketball, like we'll beat Furman, and we'll be, people will be putting us on their bracket to like upset this school in March. Like the way that I see it is like what matters, and that's what should be focused on. That's the only way that you ever get students in there, is if they understand that's possible, and that you make it possible. And Bucky was doing that. Hopefully Lenny can do that or continue to build that at Samford, but it just, that's the answer. Like you're never going to get students in unless they all like realize that. But you have to win games for them to realize that.
Yeah. So I mean, the interesting thing about it though is like, I think like you would never know it, but like if Bucky could have stayed 2 more years or a year at least. I mean, I wanted to see if like he would have to, like, were kids going to keep leaving like that, or was it going to be like he could keep some of those guys around? Because it seemed like after the team won it, as it 20, well, I guess I go back, he did a good job of like replacing, was it Quez Glover?
Yep.
And so like he lost some guys even from the 2 years ago that were pretty good players. Like, and he was able to keep some of those guys around, because I think NIL started the season that Quez Glover left. I think that's right.
Yeah, that's when it picked up.
Yeah, it's just like it's just the volatility of basketball roster turnover. Like Samford at the 23 team had guys that had been there a couple years. Ryland was the only guy that came in new, and he ingratiated himself more into the culture. And that team was obviously, students maybe have had like a bigger bond with that team because they had known those guys. And just the way college basketball works, the whole new roster that next year Ryland was back, but you had a Chor leave, you had AJ leave, a couple of guys that were kind of part of that legacy a little bit. So I could see why there's kind of not that same connection, but if you win basketball games, you expect people to be there.
The one thing I think that Bucky could navigate a little bit better though was that, like, I wonder, like, as good of a coach as Lenny is, we haven't really seen like a bunch of guys, like he's had to replace a bunch of guys from the start at Samford, but like, well, like for next year, will a lot of these guys stay, or like will he have to? Because I think almost, if you look at how Bucky was starting to do things, he could navigate that world a little bit easier.
Yeah,
maybe, and like, whereas Lenny might
a little
not be
bit. I mean, the problem is the main problem is once you recruit a good enough athlete, Chor's probably the best example, or even AJ State McRae.
Right.
If Samford can offer 100K or 200K, but then they're offered 800,000 to go sit on the bench, or $1 million to go sit on the bench.
Yeah, and
it's a no-brainer.
and this brings up a fascinating topic because Mike Jones, a coach at UNCG, said, you need to do talking to me, you need to do an article on guys that transferred out of the league and how they ended up. He's like,
yeah.
Because he's like, other than like maybe Marcus Foster at Xavier, he's like, nobody.
It's all for the money. They're not leaving to go play better basketball because they're not going to play.
But
I mean, Piggy was the best example of that. It's like one of the best players in the whole league. Could have moved up a step and played, but chose to go all the way to the top and not play, which is odd.
But here's what they can do if they leave.
Go to the G League and come back.
They can get paid $800K, whatever it is, sit on the bench and say that they played at Miami. Say that they played at Kansas State.
Right.
Well, I played basketball at Kansas State. It's like I rode the bench, but I got $800K while doing it, but I was on the team. Well, it's like that's the kind. I think it's shallow. I'll say it out loud. But like, that's the thought process of people age 18 to 23
to 88. I mean, it happens in corporate America. So
yeah, I mean it's true. But
can't be an influencer playing in SoCon.
Yeah. True. Well, and like for State McRae, it's like he played at Miami, but they were 7-24 or whatever they were last year. I mean, like
they were dog water.
He's at Seton Hall this year, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, yeah.
No, we like AJ.
Oh no, I mean he's a great kid and great.
I mean that's what stinks. I mean some of these cats are not good people, so it's like whatever, leave. Right. But some are awesome, and it's just like those hurt.
AJ's a legend.
Yeah.
Yeah. The psychology. I was gonna say the psychology between like who you like when they transfer versus who you don't like when they transfer is fascinating.
It is fascinating
because we just arbitrarily pick like, oh, we love AJ, even though they transferred.
It's how they react.
Well, it's simple. It's what did they do for you? It's simple. What they do for you and how long?
Right. And
but
so
anyway.
I mean, like it was so weird. So like Furman played Auburn in the exhibition last year, and like there was a weird dynamic about like Piggy's being on the other team, and like he didn't take but like 2 shots, and I think Bowser like slapped one of them to like the 3rd row, and so like you're just like, well, he didn't shoot again after that, and then I don't know, it's just to me, and then Pettiford, I'm like, I don't know much about this, but like Piggy's is not gonna have his job long. I mean, like this kid's good. And I wonder if like Bruce Pearl, like he over recruited the position.
Of course, because they can.
Right.
Why would you not want 10 ballers?
That's not fair to the kid, though. Like I mean.
Yeah, but they're getting paid. So what is it? What does fairness matter in terms of playing time if you're getting paid?
True, but
that's the bummer.
I mean, he's getting paid, but what is it worth? Like, what is it really worth?
Agreed. It's short term. It is a lot of money, but it is short term, and I don't think it outweighs, we talk about this a lot, but outweighs the network you would have gained just by staying at one institution for 4 years.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, one connection can be $1 million connection.
Which brings us kind of full circle, because I think that's where Bucky and Lenny Acuff hit it out of the ballpark, is because people want to play for them. Like you got to make it hard to leave, right?
Yep.
I mean, I think they'll, even though they left Bucky, I don't think that was an easy decision to leave to go somewhere else.
No, probably not. I mean, Richie's another good example of that. I mean, it seems like we're saying the same thing about Furman every year, where the whole team's coming back. Sweet.
I mean, I don't know. They do that thing where they prepare you like for, like, it's called the Further the Man program, where it's like prepares you for life, and like, they go get like suits, and like they have somebody like speak to them about like diversify, like financially, how to handle. Like one of the things that Furman did was like, if they're gonna have an IL, they're gonna teach the players how to like not screw it up to where like you spend it all, or so that part of it was pretty creative.
That's good.
But like their whole thing is sort of like, basketball's secondary to like your life. Like what you become after basketball is the most important. So I think that's why kids want to stay, because basketball is important, but it's not the end
I
all
mean,
be.
yeah, it's not. It's really not that important. It's fun. It's
Yeah,
fun. It can do a lot of things for your personal growth, but I mean,
right.
when you're done playing,
R-
it becomes almost
Richie
meaningless.
Richie definitely helped himself by proving he can get 2 guys to the league that stuck
Yeah,
around.
that'll help
But
too.
that doesn't happen in the SoCon.
Right.
No,
Yeah,
Right.
they're in the G League, but they're still in the G League, and that's pretty
Right.
impressive.
very.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great
So
point,
anyway, so
Mike.
we have UTC, Furman, and then this next echelon of like Samford, VMI,
I think Samford, ETSU, and then
ETSU.
in this year 3, I guess, for Brooks Savage,
Yeah.
he got him to the championship.
They're scary, dude. They're like
good.
every year, it just is like, when are they gonna pop?
Funny story about him is I wrote a story one time. This was over the summer. He was like, "Hey," he was like, "You said that we play fast." He was like, "I absolutely hate playing fast." He was like, "You need to change that." And I'm like, "Okay." I was like, "Okay." I thought that, but if he goes back and listens to his press conference, he'll say he says that.
Yeah,
So
every
that's
You
coach in
what.
watch him.
America.
So does he
Every
think
coach
they
in America, we're
play?
going to play fast. We're going to play hard. We're going to
Right.
get all the things. Yeah.
So does he
So
think they play slowly, very
he
quickly?
wants to play slow. Like he wants you to like. His whole thing is defensively. His philosophy is defense, like, which is interesting to me because I said, well, coach, I asked him at media day. I was like, when you're bringing in portal guys, is it easier to get them to play defense or get to play offense? He was like, no question. It's hard. It's hard to get them to keep that continuity as being a good defensive team there. And if you look at who they return, they've got, I think, 4 core guys back. Makey Johnson was one of them, or Mackay, I guess is how you say it. I've never understood that.
Yeah.
It's like, shouldn't there be an accent mark somewhere, or like an AI or
That's
something?
why it's just nice to have the enunciation guides that I don't follow, but Grant follows, which is good for
That's
all of us.
what Sam can't do. Is there
Not
anybody?
everyone has a grant.
Yeah, that's just what happens, guys. They're super glad you have me. John, is there anybody outside of that top tier that you think can kind of maybe surprise some people when it comes? I had to do it. Sorry, when it comes to maybe a school like between Wofford, UNCG, Mercer, and Western, kind of that group there.
Well, I think Western is an interesting one because did you guys see the thing? I don't know if you guys saw it on like X, where it was like they were one of the most improved teams in Ken Palm from last year to this year.
And how is that gauged?
That's wild to me. Is like, how
Probably
is
just
That's how low it was. That's how low it was.
There's nowhere to go but up.
Yeah, basically.
So crazy part. Tim Kraft is an incredible coach. So like, Marcus Kell was like, he's sort of like Western Carolina was sort of like in the same boat, except with maybe not as talented of players as Samford is this year because they had to. But like he took Marcus Kell, who didn't play at all hardly under Justin Gray, and in in the month of February, that dude just decided he was a great basketball player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like he averaged like 19 points that month, and like
he was the team.
Right. But not only that, they started playing better.
Yeah, he scored 3 points January 22nd, and there was a double figures the rest of the season.
That's wild.
Like that's wild. Yeah.
But I mean, that has to be player development. Like part of that's just, and the thing about they ran good stuff, they just couldn't shoot. They were one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the country, but they managed to stay in games.
Part of it's just letting you guys cook.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were 350th in the country in 3-point percentage last year. So
yeah, that's not good.
Wow.
Yeah. Hence why the come up you see the most improved. Okay, we were so low last year.
They got 2 shooters this year.
Yeah, they finished 338 in us in Ken Palm. Then they're obviously preseason still starting 204. So yeah, that massive jump from Below 300 to 204.
And so they got CJ. He's real big on CJ Highland, who obviously he's the best defensive, maybe one of the better defensive point guards in the league. And then he brought in a guy named Tulane Petway, who's like a three or 4 star point guard. And they're like, how, because that's the other thing is now, because since everybody else is recruiting from the portal, you can get 4-star guys or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so he's going to be a player that makes a difference right away. And then they got a lot bigger as a team during the off season. A couple of guys I can't pronounce. I think it's like Dijamusi or something. Tijan. But like they got, like they weren't very, like Pilote was I think Pilote, Kell, and then they had the 2 guys, was it Victor, the dude from Princeton, Victor Williams or something, and Chase Mackey from Marshall. They were pretty big, and they seemed to get better as the season went along. And that's one of the things is they have the ability to like go, if they want to go small, they can. But if they want to go if they want to put 2 trees in there and just play rim protector, they can too. So,
2 6'10" guys. Yeah.
They're a little bit similar to like if, the SoCon's different now because like ETSU, they went away from that. I think their tallest guy this year is 6'8" or 6'9".
Oh, wow.
So, but before that, they had all 7. He missed on a bunch of guys last year in the portal.
I didn't realize they were so short this year.
Yeah.
I like that because they're going to be tenacious. But if you can just throw it over them, you can only.
I mean, he got a lot of. I think they're more athletic, and I mean,
They have to be banking on it. They have to be. Otherwise, why would you give up that size?
Because they've always been athletic. So
I mean, think about it. Like our tallest guy is 6'10".
Thought we had a 6'11" guy.
Well,
no.
Then he needs to put on some bigger shoes.
I mean, Will Shaver might be the 6'11" guy, but he's listed. I don't know. They listed him an inch.
Hey, I'll take the 2. I'll take the 2 inches.
He was listed as 7 foot at UNC. Just saying.
And John, did you have a preseason player of the year? Was Bradley one of your guys you went with? Yeah, obviously the one returning.
Yeah, I mean I think 19 of the 20 scores had gone or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was the guy, but I don't think that's he averaged over 16 a game. Is a really good 3-point shooter.
Yeah, it's not a charity pick, especially if VMI turns out to be one of the stronger units in the.
He was among the league leaders in like steals, I think. One of the guys I didn't talk about for them is AJ Clark. That guy is ridiculous, man. He's like 6'5", and he's such a quick jumper. So like one time, he's the only guy that I've ever seen like block Cooper Bowser at the rim, and he's 6'5", and I'm just like, how is that even? That's crazy to me. And he's just like rolled it against the glass. And like he's a crazy athlete, and he did that to somebody for UNCG in the tournament. And I'm just like, man, he played in this. This was last year because he had to have labrum surgery, I think, over the offseason. But he to me is the best like on ball defender. But I feel like that award always goes to like the best shot blocker or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but that they could have the best like 2 like offensive and defensive player in the league. You could make an argument for it at least.
Is Ricky Bradley a junior?
So he transferred to Georgia. This is the wild thing about that guy is like he's one of the stories where he transferred back to the program he came from.
Right.
I think that's the only time that's ever happened in VMI's history. Coach told me that that Caden Stuckey guy was the guy that was gonna know and was gonna like. He's apparently just been balling out this summer.
Caden Stuckey, good name.
And so like he's the guy that's gonna be off the radar that probably does some things this year for them. And I really thought that T.J. Johnson, the guy was like a forward, a really good shooter. He was hard to guard. Like he had one of those 3-pointers that like even if it doesn't go in, it looks like it's going in every time he shoots it. So I like it. Like he actually played for Lenny at Lipscomb, and then transferred to VMI. So he's a really good player.
It's an interesting transfer.
Yeah.
VMI is a very specific place. Got to have a very specific appetite.
So Samford will have a very good scouting report on T.J. Johnson.
That's good.
Or they should at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a really, like I said, I mean, it's incredible that when Wilson got there 3 years ago, they had so many injuries that that they didn't have enough to play 5-on-5 in practice the whole year.
That's crazy.
Sounds like Bucky during COVID. It just 6, like you don't know who's going to play until you show up that day. It's like, oh, 3 guys are out. We got to play 6 guys.
Well, they actually did one time. You know how like everybody canceled games?
Yeah.
But like Samford, I'm pretty sure they only had 7 guys that dressed when they played at Furman.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And I remember just like, I respect the heck out of that guy because like, you're not going to, and they ended up being really good at the end of the year when they got everybody back. But like, you knew that like, that was going to be not a pretty sight, but what I respected about it is like, he could have easily just canceled the game, like, because everybody else did that, you know? I mean,
yeah.
No, he knew he needed he knew he needed those guys to play.
Right.
He knew he had the vision. And that was, I think, the most impressive thing about his tenure. Was he executed on the vision? So many guys come into programs and they preach, we're going to build a contender and whatnot. And I mean, how many guys flame out after 3 seasons? It's such a tough job, especially now, especially at the mid-major.
But do you guys think that like what we were talking about earlier? There's so many. Does the money override the fact that like very few, like less than 5% of these people are being successful and actually going to that and see, like, I think that takes away the coaches. Like, what does the coach do then if he can't tell you that you're making a mistake?
Yeah, nothing. I mean, that's the problem. I mean, that's just the rub. So
yeah,
maybe it'll change. I doubt it.
But there's always like the next guy up too.
Yeah,
like we were talking about earlier. There's always the Division II guys going to come over to D1. They get an opportunity. They get a shot in the SoCon, and they ball out. Right, like there's always next man up, next star, next guy. Now that's like hard to find, right? But
yeah,
who's a team we need to watch out for? I mean, everyone's talking about Furman, UTC. That's fair. You've mentioned VMI. You mentioned ETSU.
I think a wild card. Well, I think a wild card is Mercer. Like,
gross. Tell us why. Tell us why.
Well, I mean, these guys could either really be good, like they could be really good, or they might not be good at all.
Hopefully they don't win a game. But
how many returners do they have?
Not many. Brady Shoulders is really the one guy that played a lot that's returning. Pretty much. And see, the weird thing about them, I looked up some stuff about them. You remember they had the point guard that they basically had 2 guys last year. The Johnson kid that could shoot, and Ahmad Robinson, who just thought about shooting or shot it every time.
He's a wild card. Yeah, he's at UAB now, so he's 10 minutes down the road.
Right.
Fun player.
Yeah. But like I looked at,
who does that remind you of?
Grant? Oh, Sharkey or not?
Well, yes, Sharkey. So.
Or
Jeb, is he at Texas A&M right
Yeah,
now?
I was thinking Quez, Jeb. But,
hey, good.
That's just because Quez didn't make his.
Good. What do you call it? Jeopardy question. Whoever listens to this episode in the spring will maybe have the answer to a Jeopardy question. Sorry, well, John. John, you are our guest. I interrupted you. Go ahead, man.
The crazy thing about, well, I guess you could make the argument for Sharkey, because Sharkey ended up like in the history of the SoCon, he had like over like 800 assists or something, but he also had like 800 turnovers. So
Correct.
like possessions,
Correct.
like for Samford, must have been just ridiculous.
He
That
had
was
to
a
do everything.
weird time.
So like Mercer was like among the, I think they led the SoCon and was second behind Samford last year in possessions per game.
Interesting.
And like so, Ahmad Robinson was one of the best assist guys in the SoCon, but he was also one of the worst in like assist to turnover ratio because he was one of the highest turnover rates in the country.
Yeah.
So it was just I bet
press
Ryan Ritter was just like I bet he got a lot of gray hair last year.
Like when they played us, they pressed the whole time.
Yeah, Ken Palm has him a 22% turnover rate last year.
Holy crap, dude!
And they had like
that is not a winning formula.
No.
Gee whiz.
And the so he goes out and gets this Armani branch from what's his name? Mighty. This is a great name. Armani Mighty from Boston College.
Can't forget that.
Yeah. That is a good name.
So this guy's sort of a project guy, but he's like he's going to be one of those guys that's like a rim protector. He's big and pretty athletic. And so like listen to some of the Field of 68 guys, they were talking about like how if he ever developed, he could be a monster in this league. So he'll be a fascinating guy to watch for them this year. Kyle Cuff Jr. comes from Syracuse. But I really think the guy that Ryan Ritter kept harping on during the media day was Zaire Williams from Wagner. Like he said that he and like Brady's shoulders like made this team tougher. There's a certain toughness about them this year that they didn't have necessarily last year. And so I'm not going to say they're like a sleeper because I do think they could they have a lot of talent. It's just how that talent comes together, and when it comes together, will depend a lot on that. So
yeah.
And then you mentioned Wofford. What in it? Like, where do we start with that? Like,
no kidding. I mean, Kevin Goldner taking over after what feels like a coup, but it's hard to say if that's true.
Like, that is wild to me because I've seen everything from that's not even the real true story that they wanted to sweep because the Wofford's reputation was on the line, so they just kind of said something. I don't know what's true anymore. Like
the only thing that I've heard from two different people who are former athletes at Wofford was that the president he was the one leading the charge of taking Wofford D3. This was the last year of that contract. It was not renewed by the board. And that's the only like thing that I've heard as a constant within this circus. And so it was almost like one last move to tank whatever he could before he leaves, but that's a loose theory.
If he lost prior, like if Furman had won the championship, does that mean that he would have fired Dwight Perry then? Like if his ice that was that thin, like was he just waiting on him to lose in Asheville and he didn't?
It is so bizarre. It's so bizarre.
I mean, it was a weird year for them though. Like if you go back and look at Wofford's season,
yeah.
I mean, they were picked to do well, and then they get into the league and like they play better on the road than they did at home.
Yes. Yeah. They were inconsistent. Didn't have a true identity outside of the guy that we like to pick on.
Moose Filowich.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just a bizarre collection of guys.
Yes, it was. It was.
And then, I mean, Corey Tripp was their best player, and like he underwhelmed all season, and he gets in the tournament and does well. And then Jackson Civilis comes out of nowhere and has a great tournament. Yeah, and so.
Oh, speaking of guys that leave, Mike, whatever happened to the kid that transferred to Tennessee? Remember, or was it vice versa? The Tennessee transferred to Wofford. He was like freshman of the year or something.
You think of Jaskin Pavletsky that transferred to. He transferred to like Wisconsin, right?
Wisconsin. Whatever happened to him?
Oh no, that was Max. Klesmet, and then
Klesmet,
Pavletsky went to Iowa State, never played, and then went to Ohio, and then just
Now he's at Ohio.
lit it
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
The guy was born to be in the mid majors. I don't know if Ohio's
He's from
John,
the Midwest.
what is a mid major? We've seen that on Twitter, which is what we still call it on this show.
So is a bit like so you're asking me if
they have FBS football, are they a mid major? That's I think what has been boiled down to, and I think it's hard to say. I think it's case by case.
I don't know. I mean,
like Memphis is obviously not
Tulane,
a mid major.
It's a great example.
Yeah, but there's low major and high major. Like,
so
we should be calling more schools low majors.
That's really fair, Jeff. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
I think the burner account for Wofford short-haired dog had a tweet out there that
it's a savage account.
Did you see it though, where he had it was a major conference win over Army? Or
yes.
We're like, wait a minute,
bro, come on. I mean, we had a lot of stats we picked up, but come on, you can't be saying you had Army as a high major wins. Like, come on,
right, right. So that
that's why it's hard to lump conferences in together. It's like not all the SoCon is mid-major. Like I would argue VMI is a low major just because of the inherent restrictions that they have recruiting-wise. Like they're never going
even the
Citadel, yeah.
But you would consider the SoCon a mid-major conference
because the majority of the teams are.
Right.
But like it is a vastly different playing field for a Citadel coach as opposed to UNCG's coach or Western's coach.
According to I think Bob Ritchie was saying that like if the SoCon had the money to buy more games, like the Missouri Valley does, that they should actually rank higher than they are in the KenPom or net rankings. But since we can't buy more games, since the league doesn't devote as much money, I guess, to that, then Missouri Valley is always going to be ahead of us.
Finally, he says something I agree with. We got that one there.
And when you're saying buy more games, that means paying people to play you?
Yes. Okay. And so, but like, because that's the hard thing now. Yep. Is it feels like the SoCon is kind of plateaued because you can't get those games. You just can't, like, no major program, unless you play them in an exhibition game, nobody's coming to Samford. Like,
no.
Or like no one's coming to like ETSU. Or, they're not. If you
see the state schools, I think have a better shot.
Those games are disappearing.
There's at least some politics, like in Tennessee, big supporter of ETSU, Ron Ramsey. There's like politically you can get some sway of like, all right, maybe you convince a Vandy to go play at ETSU one year. Or that's a bad example. That's a private school, but Memphis. That's like the only hope that I see. Otherwise, there's zero incentive for any major program to go.
Right.
Go play in the SoCon.
Didn't UNC play at Wofford though?
Yeah, I think that was a Tepper thing though, or whatever his face is.
Jerry Richardson.
Yeah, Jerry
Richardson.
Yeah, Richardson. Tepper's the GM or something. Who is that guy, Jeff?
Tepper's the new owner.
If you go back and
the new owner. Okay.
Yeah.
The cool thing about North Carolina is they used to. So UNC.
Yeah.
Right. No. Yeah. So UNC, they had a tradition. So like if a new school in the North Carolina system builds a new facility, they would be their first opponent. So like UNC Asheville's first game in Kimmel Arena was against North Carolina.
That's sweet.
Appalachian State's first game in the home center was against North Carolina.
Heck yeah.
So I always respected that, like, about them. Now, I don't know how Wofford did that because they're not part of the University of North Carolina system. So I have no idea.
No, they're not.
So, John, to kind of close this out here in a second, who is your preseason pick to finish off? And obviously, we know Asheville's pretty crazy, but who's your kind of pick to kind of finish first in the regular season?
Well, I mean, like, I think Chattanooga ruined it last year because they won it and then they didn't go on and win the tournament.
Yes.
So like now, I don't know. I mean, I probably will say Chattanooga maybe, and then I'd pick Furman to win the tournament, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like right now you got to go Furman. I mean, who knows about the tournament because injuries play such a big deal about that equation. But regular season feels like you got to go with Furman.
Yeah, I could see it going, because the only reason I would say that is because Furman has a freshman point. I mean, he's really good.
He has 15, 20 games to warm up too.
True. But I feel like the team that wins the regular season I think it's going to go like where Chattanooga wins the regular season and they're not going to win the tournament. I just feel like the SoCon's weird now like that. And the tournament is like completely different. I think the SoCon tournament's, this is my hot take, is the hardest conference tournament to win in the country.
It is very tough.
Because like that's why no one repeats. I mean, like it doesn't happen. I mean,
so why do you, I mean, they don't reseed. That's one reason. But what's another reason why you think it's the toughest?
I just like, I've been to a lot of these things, and man, it's like, it's since Davidson was in the league. Like when Davidson was in the league and College of Charleston were in the league, you could pretty much bank on those teams being in the championship or in the semifinals. But like now, since they left, there's like 5 teams that are good enough to beat those. There's no, so like Davidson was so much better than the rest of the league, and College Charleston when they got in the tournament, they might get upset one year or every odd year or something, but most of the time they're in the championship game or winning it. And it's just, I just feel like it's the toughest to navigate because, I mean, I think that one of the things is that coaches are so good, and they traditionally have been in the league. Like if you have Bob McKillop, John Kress, Fran McCaffrey in the league at one time, I mean, that's Mount Rushmore of coaches for mid-major conference, programs.
Yeah. I think we may be reaching, I mean, we have 2 new coaches this year, but a lot of these guys are returning for their 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th season. I think there's potential to get back to that point. We'll see. But there's some really good coaches right now.
I think the neat thing about it is like Dan Earl, which is wild because, he took the job from VMI, and like Brennan Watkins transferred from VMI. I think he's the last one of VMI's recruits that they can complain about having to sit out.
It's amazing that there's still one.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like Dan Earl's transferred his whole VMI team from Lexington to Chattanooga.
Correct.
Yeah.
But I mean, that is odd because you saw like Duger Balkan before that he went from VMI to the Citadel. Ed Conroy came back to the Citadel, where I think they fired him like during the game at Tulane. And he didn't find out about it till the press conference. And so if you can win 20 games, like Ed Conroy's the only coach to ever win 20 games at the Citadel, which is kind of crazy.
That's sad.
And then, I mean, there's that just goes to show you. I mean, Tim Kraft got Gardner Webb to the NCAA tournament. I guess the team we really didn't talk about is UNC Greensboro.
Yeah.
And I think Mike Jones is a really good coach. I just think he hasn't figured out the depth thing when you get to Asheville.
Well, he's playing UNC Asheville this year, so he maybe could try to win a game before he gets to the tournament in March. So.
Maybe it's like,
They're the oddest team. Because what was it, 3 seasons ago, I think, or 2?
They're good.
They should have won the dang tournament. But they lost in the first day.
Right.
They're always my dark horse pick.
And it always should work out, and it never does. I don't know why. The
funny thing about them is though, like he won it at a place at Radford. Like if you've ever seen Radford's like facilities.
Yeah.
My goodness. And like here, like he's got to be a pretty good coach to win there.
Yes.
I've got some Radford friends.
It's a tough place to win.
The Highlanders.
That's where Lucas ended up, right?
Yeah, they've got some. Yeah. They got some money behind that team for sure.
Mike Jones is one of my favorite coaches. He's so like he's so cool because he's old school. Like he hates the NIL. Like he hates transfer portal. He's like,
Yeah,
what are we even doing now? We're just
agreed.
teaching kids to just quit when they, it gets tough, which I totally agree with.
Literally, yes.
And so, but I think it is interesting that he does better than I expect him to do every year, like in the regular season. And I'm like, oh, they're going to do well in the turn. They don't.
And they just don't. Like they
Yeah.
always have talent. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe who knows? Maybe his disdain for the transfer portal is hurting him because it does seem like the talent is dropping off just a little bit year after year. It seems like their most talented squad was 3 seasons ago, but maybe
when
maybe
he
not.
had that was one of the conversations we had when he had the Langley twins.
Yes.
They sort of kept it together because they were always going to stay there and play because they were brothers and they were best friends, and but like and that was sort of the case with Huff and Bonham for a while. I mean, they weren't going anywhere because they loved playing together. So like, if you can get people that enjoy playing together, they're less likely to, even if money is at stake, they might reconsider.
Yeah.
But
We'll see.
John, any other thoughts, closing remarks on the upcoming basketball season, which should be a good one?
yeah, I mean, if you look
Wide
at the
open.
first month of the season, there's some really good matchups. I think Samford's game against Tulane is interesting to me. Tulane is a team I saw. They came to Furman last year. They have tremendous athleticism, but I don't like. I think is it Coach Hunter is still there.
Yep, still there.
He's a great coach too, but he's one of those guys that doesn't agree with like the portal, and he's kind of taking a toll on him. But that's an interesting matchup. I think that's a game Samford can win and maybe should win. But is Tulane like where do you? Tulane's a big school, but is like that a major win? What would you guys consider?
No. I think beating Ole Miss, 4 years ago, was a big win. Not
Okay.
Looks good on the resume beating a team from the American who, I mean, again, preseason polls don't matter, but pick top 5. So still be good to win, but obviously not to the level of the Ole Miss or Nebraska win. Maybe that
I'd rather beat
Paget
Belmont.
had.
Right. Yeah, and that should be a game that's like on the schedule. Like Belmont should play SoCon teams every year. Just because of
I
what
think
they
they
are.
do. I think they do. But
yeah, I think, and then they played Furman like 3 years, and I don't know if they play a team this year. I know they played Chattanooga, but I know like Chattanooga plays Auburn. I think this month in the State Farm Classic, something in Atlanta. Oh,
the opportunity to ruin Stephen Pearl's reign from the beginning.
That's going to be bizarre too. Is like, what's going to happen with those guys?
I think VCU's probably like we're not going to beat Arkansas. Like, if we did, that would be awesome. That would be the big win. Right?
Hey, talk about a coach who's
UNCG
famous for some regular season flubs is Calipari.
I know, but preseason ranked 14th overall team in the country, Arkansas, whatever.
Let's go Dogs, baby.
VCU's actually like, Ken Palm, top 60.
Yeah, they're good.
That would be a nice win.
That's a good win.
Yeah. And there's a lot of those like mid-major type games. Like Mercer plays Appalachian State. That's one of them that I can think. Like that would be a good win for Mercer if they could get it. Like Furman plays High Point, Northern Iowa. And so UNCG, I'm trying to think of who they.
Dude, Furman's got a soft schedule.
That's how he likes it though. He likes his team to warm up, gel, and then unfortunately perform too well.
Like he says that. Well, and I guess it's probably true that it's hard to get that they call these people and they.
Well, that's the other problem.
Yeah.
And so they like. So here's the deal: Furman was supposed to play Austin Peay in that ASUN challenge, and Austin Peay was like, "We're not playing you." And they were like, "But it's part of the the tournament. Like,
Dude,
so
the
that's how.
ASUN is such a scrubby conference. I don't know why
And
we
so, like, that's
associate
why there's one
ourselves.
less game in the SoCon.
Dude, that's so Bush League. That is so
I
Bush
didn't know
League.
that.
God.
Oh, John.
That just reinforces all of my opinions about that.
Let me ask you about this though. Before we don't have you, is Elon going to join the SoCon?
Again?
Gosh, I hope not.
Have we already asked him that?
No, I mean, I have heard that. I actually heard. So since they added Tennessee Tech, that now they would add a private. So like it would be probably Lipscomb, maybe.
Sorry, Lenny, if you're listening, but that's not.
Yeah, I think
that's
Beck
not
said that as well when we interviewed him.
Not a vibe.
Well, but that makes. I know that now. This is interesting because the SoCon has they tried to get Richmond and William and Mary both turned them down because they used to be in the league, but now they're going to.
Every team in the ACC and the SEC used to be in the SoCon.
Yeah, the whole Southeast used to be the SoCon.
That's interesting that maybe they should reapproach because it seems like the CAA
they're heading that direction.
We should bring UNC back to the SoCon.
Yeah, they're gonna win some football games.
Hey, Belichick's trying his hardest to tank that program.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
but like, I don't know. Like, to me, I think a fascinating ad would be like UNC Wilmington.
That's the team that came right to my mind because the baseball team's on the rise, the basketball team is fun. I don't know if they play football.
And there's rumors that UNC Greensboro might be leaving because there's really no. I mean, there's less and less of an incentive to stay, really, because they don't have football.
They don't know what. It doesn't seem like they know what they want as an athletic program in general.
So if they leave,
dude, it used to be a women's school.
Well, so did Florida State, and they figured it out.
Or Winthrop too.
What I mean is, like, the school doesn't have football because of that. Like, it's not that they don't want football. It's just that it used to be a women's school.
Right.
And then it went co-ed.
Right.
And then it is what it is today. But the history of the school is why,
correct.
It is the way it's different than other schools.
Right. And so the dynamic has always been weighted towards there's more, there's always been more female students because of that, right? Or most of the time, because unless you add a bunch of football, like football. If you add that, you're going to get more male students.
Yeah. Oh.
I would love adding Wilmington. Plus, it's a sweet mascot.
It is cool.
I don't know why we need a private. I don't know why there's that drive. It's just add another good school.
The other interesting one I think would be Campbell.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Because that's in the same kind of area. It's not too far from the beach. And there's really nothing in Booze Creek, but that is a cool campus, and they don't have bad facilities. They're willing to spend money a little bit like Mercer. So that would be one I would kind of look at. And it also, the SoCon's big on academics and how it's. They want to keep that balance of state schools and private schools and whatever.
I'd love to see College of Charleston be in the SoCon.
See, I don't understand what that is.
Would that be good for every other school? Absolutely not, because they would smoke us.
But we would just love the trip to Charleston.
We would just love the. I guess we would just love the trip to Charleston.
More than the Citadel trip to Charleston.
It would raise the playing level of the conference.
I feel like the Citadel has a big sandcastle on their campus.
Yes. I think the Citadel has so much potential that just is not lived up to.
You could if you can't recruit Charleston, who outpaces Rome and cities to visit in the world,
good luck.
And let's be honest, it is a tough school, but not for athletes.
Yes, also true. Know a couple Citadel grads who were athletes and slightly, and by slightly I mean much easier path in every way, shape, or form.
In comparison, like to that's why there's such a rub there because VMI you have to still do all this stuff.
Yeah, that's I don't know a VMI grad. I can imagine that it is no different. It may be worse if you're an athlete, frankly.
Yeah, we'll see.
But anyway, John, thanks for joining, man.
All right, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for asking me to be on. It's my pleasure to be on here.
Do you watch SoCon Baseball?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, even though like some schools in the league decided they didn't need to have a baseball program.
It is unbelievable. It is unbelievable that
one of the oldest sports it's un-American.
It's un-American. 100%.
Thank you.
100%. I can understand one of the schools. I really cannot understand UTC. That just always
I don't understand that one either. That one's bizarre. Like they've never had baseball.
It's just I don't think they have. I think it's always been club, and it's just such a missed opportunity.
Yeah, they have softball. That's always been fascinating to me.
And it's a softball city, but for whatever reason. But yeah, we'll have you back on for baseball season. And if we do a SoCon tournament preview, we'll try to get you back on. But we appreciate it, and everybody follow John on Twitter. He is really the only SoCon account worth following. But thank you, John.
SoCon John 22.
So,
at SoCon John